climax to the Premier League season we have on our hands as just 1 point separate the top two sides in their race to become champions. And what about the race for the top four and the race for the top? We'll take a look at it, all of it, next. Video today. We look forward to match number 31, I believe, over in the Premier League, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new, where you've been, smash your subscribe and get your back today. All things Premier League related, Pepper Rovers related, world football related. We got it all here, boys. Under one roofski. Spicy stuff. That is the Premier League. It is spicy stuff with just 1 point between the two sides, Man City and Liverpool. And of course, they've got to play each other still. So a monster game still on the agenda, of course, as we look forward to that. And of course, the race for top four is bubbling up nicely with, of course, Arsenal, Spurs within touching distance as well. But what's going to go happen at the bottom of the table? We'll look at all of it in a minute. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs there, the patrons, guys, to give you love. And of course, behind the scenes, you know who you are, these special sons of bitches. But anyway, let's get in the deep end, of course, and have a look at how we all got on last time around then, shall we? Here we go. Now, these were the games before the international break. Just a few of them, just a small selection, and of course Spurs very much in action. So Spurs actually picked up a 2-0 win over Brighton, of course called it that, absolutely called it me. Or Everton picked up a 1-0 win over Newcastle. I went with the draw myself. Arsenal did get spanked by Liverpool 2-0 in the end. Wolves of course did lose to Leeds United 3-2 win in the end, big win for Leeds that was. Aston Villa against Arsenal was a 1-0 win for Arsenal. Of course Leicester did beat Brentford, and of course Spurs packed up the win again, 6 points for them. 3-1 win over West Ham United. That's of course the state of play of the last games, of course, when we last saw each other. But of course this is what the table looks like right here, right now. As you can see, City 1 point clear over Liverpool. They do have to play each other, and it can be very spicy as well. Meanwhile, Chelsea are in third. Of course, they're they're trying to hold on to third, and they could actually get sucked out of it. And that sounds disgusting, but they could get dragged into a race for Champions League themselves. On the foot of the table, of course, Norwich look toast. Burnley, Watford, Everton are in that relegation dogfight as well, and at least one of those could go down at the moment. But hey, Burnley have at least three games in hand on the likes above them, so we'll see. We can't really look forward to that if because I don't know yet. This is of course the state of play here with you guys. Well done to you guys. Nanik M with 6 points on the board. Is that 100%? Is that 100%? You get 100%. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, well done, Nanik M. Six points on the board there. Well done to you. Shane O'Donnell and Iman Hussein up there in the top three. What about, of course, the mini leaderboard? It is, at the moment, it is Iman Hussein, 61 points for you, sir. Well done, well done, well done. Of course, we like that. We like to see that. Variety is the spice of life. Let's take a look at, of course, the predictor of the month for the month of March. And that winner is... Iman Hussein, Shane O'Donnell, well done. Well done. We like a bit of variety, don't we, of course? Let's get you in the name and lights. Of course, you're up there. Actually, in there a couple of times, Iman Hussein. So well done to you. Shane O'Donnell gets his first name in lights on the Wall of Fame. Indeed, that's of course the state of play. In there, of course, the winners of the predictor of the month, of course. But let's take a look at who is actually winning the actual leaderboard. In here, we have a monster, of course, lead here, and it is actually, look at that, look at it, look at it. It is as spicy as you like here. Of course, top 8 can I think anyone in the top 8 realistically are well in it. And I'd probably open it up to the top 14. Have got an outside sniff to become title winners here. Well done to you guys. 3-way lead. It's just like the bloody Premier League. Oh, wow, spicy. That's what it is. Of course, well done to everybody for doing the stuff. And keep on because we're towards the back end of the season now. So, of course, it's all downhill from here. So let's get into it. Of course, that's the link. Getting your name in lights. Of course, you can even win the predictor of the month for the month of April. So here are those games. Of course, bit of an extended match day. Bit of a bonus one at the end there for Burnley as they play catch-up. But anyway, we're going to kick it all off with Brighton up against Norwich coming at you on Saturday, April the 2nd. Now, these two sides, of course, play each other according to my eyes 17 times since 2002. Both of the out-of-form teams at the moment, of course. 17 times. 4 wins for Brighton, 8 wins for Norwich, and 5 draws. Both sides coming to this 0% form of the last 6 that have winless of the last 6 games. However, last time played each other in Brighton, it was a 2-0 win for Brighton back in November 2019. The reverse fixture in Norwich was a 0-0 draw back in, of course, October. So Brighton are actually unbeaten against Norwich over the last 3 occasions in competitive action, picking up, of course, and I haven't conceded a goal against them as well. Meanwhile, Brighton coming to this on the back of that 2-0 loss against Spurs. It's actually been back-to-back games without scoring a goal for them now. Meanwhile, Norwich did lose to Leeds United last round heading into this one. The odds here, 50-8 on is your Brighton, 3-1 is your draw, 6-1 is your long shots. It could go either way. I don't know why it's so heavily favoured. I'm going to go with a 1-0 win myself for Brighton here, even though it's going to be quite tight. It could go either way, but I'm backing the host here with a 1-0 win for them. Next, of course, everyone's favourite at the moment Here's Crystal Palace up against Arsenal coming at you on Monday night. Now, these two sides have played 23 times in 1994. 12 wins for Palace, 3 wins for Crystal Palace, 12 wins for Arsenal, 3 for Palace, and 8 draws. It's the Ian Wright derby, of course. Palace unbeaten in the last 6, picking up 4 wins and 2 draws. 83% form. Meanwhile, Arsenal have won 5 of the last 6. 83% form for them as well. Last time around, though, over at Selhurst Park was a 3-1 win for Arsenal. It was back in May 2021, or the Vieira derby even. Of course, it was a 2-2 draw back in Arsenal back in October as well. Of course, Palace with a 4-0 win over Everton. Back-to-back clean sheets. In fact, 3 clean sheets on the spin for Palace right now. Up against the Arsenal side, of course, picked up a 1-0 win over Aston Villa last time around as well. Of course, looking at the odds here, we've got Crystal Palace 3-1 for the victory, 11-10 on is your Arsenal, and a 12-5 is draw. I want to see Crystal Palace win this game, but I think Arsenal will nick it 2-0 win in the end, as of course cream will rise to the top in the end. Burnley up against Manchester City. Now we hope, of course, for a one-sided cricket score here, don't we? Of course, 20 times they played since 2001, 1 for Burnley, 60 minutes for Man City, and 3 draws. Of course, Burnley though without a win in the last 4, 42% form up against the Man City side, unbeaten the last 6, 83% form for them as well. Last round at Turnbull was a 2-0 win for City. That's of course back in February 2021. In fact, Burnley, City have actually won the last 6 on the bounce at the very least, and actually at the last 5 they haven't scored a goal. So 17 goals without return have Manchester City scored over the last 5 competitive matches. Meanwhile, of course, City did pick up a 4-1 win over Southampton. Of course, Burnley with a 2-0 loss against Brentford. It's actually been 1-2-3 games without a goal, just 1 goal scored the last 6. No goals scored the last 3 for Burnley. Meanwhile, Burnley coming at you 12-1 for the victory. 92 on is your, of course, your Man City, and 5-1 is your draw here. Back, of course, City here at 3-0 win, another clean sheet to boot as well to maintain their top of the table status, and of course keep Liverpool at bay. Next, of course, we have Chelsea up against Brentford in another all-London affair. Now over at Stamford Bridge. Now these two sides, of course, played each other 5 times in 2013. 4 wins for Chelsea, nothing for Brentford, and 1 draw. Of course, Chelsea they're winning 6 on the bounce. Of course, 100% form for them. Up against the Brentford side, of course, 2 wins in the last 6 games, 42% form for them at the moment. Of course, last time around over at Chelsea was an FA Cup victory, of course, for Chelsea, 4-0 when it was back in 2017. Of course, they played each other twice this campaign, both in Brentford, and of course, both wins for Chelsea as well. 1-0 win at the reverse fixture, of course, 2-0 win in the EFL Cup. In fact, Chelsea have played Brentford over the last 4 occasions, picking up 4 wins as well, and haven't conceded a goal in any of the 4 games. Meanwhile, Chelsea capitalized on the back of that 2-0 win over Middlesbrough, and of course, Brentford did lose to Leicester City last time around. The odds here, Chelsea actually 11-4 on for the victory, 7-2 is draw, and 70-2 is your Brentford on this one. Of course, back Chelsea here, 2-1 win, but of course, Brentford will get the goal, which of course will be something they can build on perhaps. Next, of course, Liverpool up against Watford over at Anfield, of course, coming at you on Saturday, April the 2nd, early kickoff it will be. Now, these two sides have played each other 17 times in 1989, 13 wins for Liverpool, 3 wins for Watford, and 1 draw. Just 1 defeat though, the past 6 for Liverpool right now, 83% form up against the Watford side, just 1 win in the last 5, 42% form over the last 6 for them. Last round, of course, over at Anfield was a 2-0 win for Liverpool back in December 2019. The reverse fixture at Vicarage Road was a 5-0 win for Watford back in October. Of course, Watford with a 2-1 win over Southampton. Of course, Liverpool with a 1-0 win over Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. The odds here, though, Liverpool are 8-1 on for the victory, 7-1 is your draw, 22-1 is your long shots. That's, of course, Watford. Going to go with a 2-0 win for Liverpool here. Of course, should be a rudimentary victory for them. No problems asked in the end. Next, of course, Leeds United up against Southampton, of course. Now, these two sides, of course, lock horns at Ellen Road. Of course, played each other 34 times in 1993, 17 wins for Leeds, 11 wins for Southampton, and we've got 6 draws, of course. Back-to-back wins there for Leeds right now, under Jesse Marsh, of course, 33% form. Up against the Southampton side, of course, picked up 2 wins at the last 6, 33% form for them as well. Last round at Ellen Road was a 3-0 win for Leeds back in February 2021. The reverse fixture, of course, at St Mary's was a 1-0 win for Southampton back in October. Southampton picking up a 4-1 loss against City, and of course Leeds with a 3-2 win over Wolves last round, and a big win for them it was. Of course, the odds here coming at you, we've got Leeds 30-10 for the victory, 50-8 is your Southampton, and 30-5 is your draw. Back at, of course, Leeds here under Jesse Marsh, big win for them, of course, moving away from the drop, and of course hopefully sucking Burnley back down into trouble as well. Next, of course, we have Man United up against Leicester City. Let's get in the deep end on this one now. These two sides, of course, play each other according to my eyes 34 times in 1994, 21 wins for Manchester United, 5 wins for City, and 8 draws, of course. Just 1 win though with the last 5 for Manchester United, 50% form for them. That's 1-2, lost 2, and draw 2 over the last 6. Up against the Leicester side, of course, 1-4 the last 6, 67% form for them as well. Last round, of course, over at Old Trafford was a 2-1 win for Leicester back in May 2021. The reverse fixture at the King Power was a 4-2 win for Leicester as well. So Leicester actually won 3 on the bounce against Manchester United. In fact, unbeaten in the last 4 as well. Meanwhile, Leicester come to on the back of that 2-1 win over Brentford. Of course, Man United did lose to Atletico and crashed out of the Champions League as well. Meanwhile, the odds here, we got Manchester United, of course, 50-8 on for the victory. I got 10-3 is your draw, and 92 is your long shots. Of course, that's Leicester City. I'm going to back a Man United win here. here. 3-1 win for them. They've got nothing left to play for, have they? 3-1 win it was, or it should be, for Man United in the end. Spurs up against Newcastle, of course. Spurs trying to bounce back, of course. Spurs trying to keep the heat up there. What I meant to say was Newcastle trying to bounce back. Now, they played each other 56 times since 1993. 25 wins for Spurs, 23 wins for Newcastle, and 8 draws, of course. Just one defeat past 4, though, for Tottenham right now. 67% form up against the Newcastle side. Back-to-back defeats for them. 58% form for them. At the moment, of course, last time around, over at the Fancy Pants Stadium was a 1-1 draw back in September 2020. The reverse fixture, of course, for at St James's was a 3-2 win for Spurs as well. Spurs unbeaten against Newcastle over the last 4 occasions, pick up 2 wins and 2 draws. Meanwhile, Spurs come to on the back of that 3-1 over West Ham, and of course Newcastle did lose to Everton. It's actually been back-to-back games now without a goal. The odds here: 2-1 on is your Spurs, 30-5 is your draw, 11-2 is your away win. That is of course Newcastle United. I'm going to back of course Spurs here, 2-win for them to take the 3 points and of course keep up the heat in the race for 4th spot. West Ham United up against Everton over on Goodison at London Stadium, of course on Sunday. Played each other 55 times in 1994, 12 wins for West Ham, 29 wins for Everton, and 14 draws. Of course, just one defeat in the past 3 though for West Ham, 33% form. Up against the West Ham, Everton side, just 2 wins at the past 6 for them, 33% form for them as well. Last time around, of course, over at London Stadium was a 1-0 win for Everton. That was back in May 2021. The reverse fixture at Goodison was a 1-0 win for West Ham as well. The home side has only won once in the last 5 occasions between these two sides, and that was, of course, when Everton beat West Ham 4-1 in the EFL Cup over at Goodison Park. Meanwhile, West Ham picked up a 3-1 loss against Spurs. Of course, Everton did lose quite a battering actually against Crystal Palace last time around in the FA Cup. The odds on this one though: West Ham are 4-3 on for the fixture, 60-5 is your, of course, your Everton, and 11-4 is your draw. Of course, back in Everton here to lose this one, 1-0 loss in the end. Next up, another Black Country derby. It's of course Wolves up against Aston Villa. Prime time kick, or just normal kickoff, 3 p.m. Goodness gracious me. Played each other 20 times in 2003. 6 wins for Wolves, 8 wins for Villa, and 6 draws. Of course, just one defeat past 3 for Wolves right now. 33% form up against of course Aston Villa side, back-to-back defeats for them, 50% form over the last 6. That's won 3 and lost 3 over the last 6. Last time around at Molineux was a 1-0 win for Villa. That's back in December 2020. The reverse fixture over at Villa Park. Sorry. What am I looking at here? So last time picture over at Molineux is a 1-0 win for Villa. That's right. That's back in December 2020. The reverse fixture at Villa Park was a 3-2 win for Wolves. Wolves. What are we looking at here? Wolves just 1 loss at the last 5 against Aston Villa. That 1 loss was back in 2020. Meanwhile, of course, Wolves picking up a 3-2 loss against Leeds last time around. Villa losing to Arsenal last time around. The odds on this one: 50-8 is your Wolves on this one. 11-5 is your draw. 31-20 is your Villa. Quite tight this one. Got with a 2-1 win there for Wolves. Stevie Gerrard taking the L for this one. And then finally, a bit of a Brucey bonus on this one. It is Burnley up against, of course, Everton. Bit of a relegation 6-pointer on this one, of course, coming at you midweek. Next week, of course, 6th of April. Played each other 15 times, 9, 6 wins for Burnley, 8 wins for Everton, and 1 draw. Of course, Burnley without a win in 4, losing to Man City as well. Up against the Everton side, of course, just 2 wins the last 6, also losing this past on the weekend, according to my eyes. Last time played each other at Burnley, it was, of course, a 1-1 draw back in December 2020. The reverse fixture over at Goodison Park was a 3-1 win for Everton back in September. Of course, got no odds on this one. My odds are in my belly. My belly says I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I can't separate 2 sides. I think I want them both to go down, to be honest with you. But that is it. That is my take for the next week's matches of the Premier League. So get involved with it, get your predictions in using the link Cutley4 Premier League. But that is it. I am pumped to be done with this one. That is it, guys. Make sure you smash the subscribe, smash the thumbs up, check the little bell. But until then, dudes, we're done. We're done for now.